Peace world, what is going on? Welcome to Substantial Weekly. Today we're going to jump into a lot of different things. We're going to talk about the oh my God, I'm blacking out already. Oh yeah, today's Bandcamp Friday. That's what it is. And we're also doing the latest episode of Anatomy of a Verse. We're breaking down Reed Richards, talking about these upcoming shows and more. Go ahead, stick around. See y'all in a minute. All right. Peace. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Substantial Weekly. My name is Substantial. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat watching right now. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, doesn't matter. I'm just happy to see everybody. Man, lot to get into today. Shout out to everyone I mentioned. As I mentioned, we got a lot of folks in the chat already. Off-World was here early. Shout out to Tetsuo. My man, hey, what's going on? Early Bird in the building. All right. Uncrowned Otaku as well. Shout out to Stratus, C. Cruz holding it down. Always great to see everybody, man. Hey, we got another one. Orion Song in the building as well. Tommy Hackett. Good to see everybody, man. Per usual, if it's your first time to the channel, again, my name is Substantial. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Yeah, man, if you don't know what this is, I always assume people do. So let me break it down. So basically, Substantial Weekly is just the update directly from the source. So rather than going to some other site to figure out what's going on with Substantial, you can come right here to my YouTube channel. Go ahead, kick your feet up, relax a little bit, hang out for about an hour. These days, it's been almost 2. And yeah, man, we talk about the things going on, what upcoming music is coming out, what upcoming shows. I do breakdowns of certain songs, etc., etc. But to those of you who are my regulars, my supporters, my people who hold it down week in and week out, thank y'all so much. Welcome back. And to the new folks, man, welcome. Yeah. Who else we got up in here? Hey, we got Joshua McGee, 3-hour stream. Who says no? Peace. What's going on, fam? But yeah, man, shout out to everybody, man, holding it down. Early Bird says, Stan, you don't have to answer now. Hold on. Stan, you don't have to answer now, but I was curious if you heard the Beatles' new song. No, I haven't. Didn't even know that was a thing. So definitely gonna check that out after the broadcast today. I feel like when I was living in Baltimore a couple years back, yeah, man, I used to listen. This was around the time my oldest daughter was still young. I would listen to their stuff a lot. I would play the Beatles stuff a lot. But yeah, man, I definitely would be interested to check out a new track from them. Thanks for the heads up, bro. All right, peace. Frank is in the building. Frank Goita in the building. What's going on, fam? Ottawa representing. Oh yeah, and let us know where you're watching from in the world. That's always cool to see. All right, but a lot to get into today. Let's go ahead and jump into things. Hey man, some unrelated music stuff. I got something cool in the mail. And I want to share it with y'all because a lot of y'all supported my Kickstarter campaign, but I wanted to also show you that I support other people's Kickstarter campaigns. So I want to highlight something. It's funny. Now that I said that, I probably should have brought a couple of other things. And that just reminded me, too. There's someone else who dropped a Kickstarter campaign I want to make y'all aware of. Let me bring that up in the background so I can switch to that at some point. But yeah, let's start with a campaign that I supported some time ago. All right, so real quick, man, shout out to this company called Fend. They make helmets. And so, yeah, man, so I purchased something, a little something, we were going to do a little opening, unveiling. So this is a little something that I purchased and supported a really cool Kickstarter campaign. All right, this is the box here. Tells you what color it is, ultra white. It's a large, considering my big helmet. It looks more like a shoebox though, right? But yeah, man, who else we got in here? All right. Joshua said his daughter's learning long division, so pray for him. So again, this right here doesn't look super large, but it is a bike helmet or just a helmet in general. As y'all know, I do have a bike, but I ride one wheel. Courtesy of the homie, shout out to Javier Starks. And so, man, I was looking, trying to get an additional helmet because sometimes you take L's, and I've already taken an L with my old helmet and stuff. It's in great condition still, a little scuffed up, but I was like, let me get another one, and I need something that travels easier. So this right here, that thing right there, believe it or not, that is a helmet, right? But it's a collapsible helmet. And so, man, I saw this campaign and I was like, damn, that's pretty fresh, yo. So I went ahead and supported it. And so check it out. Boom. So, yeah, man, it's pretty slick, And, yeah, you can see the lights built in right there, So let me take one of these joints out so you can see what it does. So, see that? The lights are detachable. They charge up, but... So this is the back of the joint. Yeah, son. Joint's pretty dope. And so when I'm riding at night, because a lot of homies, they purchase like these really high-powered flashlights and stuff to use while they're riding, or they purchase certain type of lights that they could attach directly onto their one wheel. And so I was like, yo, let me get something that instead of attaching it to one thing, because maybe I haven't ridden my bike in a while, but maybe I ride the bike. Right. And then I don't want to have to take off the lights from my one wheel and try to attach them to the bike if I did that. Right. Or if I'm riding a bike, obviously most people ride with two hands. I can't be holding a flashlight with one. So when I saw this helmet and saw how they had the lighting and stuff, I was like, yo, I think that's going to be the move right there. So, yeah, man, let me see the comments real quick. Hey, it arrived. Yeah. Hey, yes. Yeah. See, shout out to Javier Starks. Clap it up for Jav. Jav knowing, son. Yeah, it finally arrived. I ordered this a year ago. Any of y'all who supported my Kickstarter campaign, who thought y'all had it bad, just know I'm in the trenches with you. You know what I'm saying? So anyone who's still waiting for merch, just know that, yo, this is not if you haven't supported anything on Kickstarter before, just know that this waiting this long is not an uncommon thing. If you supported the Animal Arithmetic campaign, thank you. Some of y'all have been waiting over 2 years, I think, now for certain things because she just recently finished the book. So yeah, it's tough doing this stuff from scratch. So watching this company introduce this new joint, and it's pretty dope. Fits in the bottom of your book bag, all that cool stuff. So I just wanted to show you something, switch it up a little bit. But yeah, I lift like that. And hold up. Let me do this. I got to back up off the mic a little bit. Trying to make it collapse back down. There you go. Boom, boom. And just push it in. And that goes smooth right in your book bag. So it was a pretty cool investment, man. The lighting, it charges up right on your... they have this dual USB connector, and so you can connect it with that. And yeah, man, so hopefully I go hanging out with Hive real soon. And and by the way, the one that says One Will Wing, that's my man Javier Stark, so be sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. But yeah, hopefully Hive and I link up real soon, go for a ride, do a night ride. I can check out the helmet, see how good it works. In terms of lighting, I'm not in a rush to test to see how it's how it deals with collisions. That's never, that's why I got it. But yeah, you know what I mean? We ain't out here being crash test dummies. All right, let's get into these comments. Hold up. Oh, Joshua says his daughter's learning long division. Oh yeah, man. God bless you. God bless you. And the math changes, right? Like how we learned it. And I'm saying we, like some of y'all are my age. I know some of y'all are younger than me. How I learned it was one way. How some of y'all learned it was another way. And how they're currently teaching these kids how to do it is a different way. It evolves. So yeah, bro, like I remember this struggle. I mean, in the period of time that I was working in schools full time, the math changed. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. Yeah, so God bless you. You know what I mean? True. Yes. Helmets are 100%. 100%. Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. All right. Sub is going to star in a Tron reboot with that helmet. Hey, anything's possible. You know what I'm saying? Only if Daft Punk is coming back to do the soundtrack again, because that was amazing. With the Kickstarter, was there anything sent to folks that donated $10 pack? I honestly forgot. Yes, you received a digital download. If you log in to your Kickstarter account, there was a digital download code and a link to where to get it. So yeah, definitely go get that. So that way you get a download of it. You can download the album in any format you want. So not just MP3, you can get it in WAV. You can get FLOC files. You can get it in as high or low quality as you want. All right. Let's see. Yes, noted. Next warm night. That is important. 100%. Yeah, man. Hold on. All right, cool. So let's keep it moving. Get into some other things. So let's load this bad boy up here. Shazam. Switch that background. Boom. So as I mentioned before, today is Bandcamp Friday, and there's always lots going on in my Bandcamp. Unfortunately, not at this time are there any new items on there. If you want to look into new things to check out, although Bandcamp is arguably one of the best platforms to support me on for right now, because we know that they were recently sold by Epic Games, and they were sold to Song Trader, if I'm not mistaken. So we're waiting to see how that pans out. But as of right now, they're still one of the best places to support. But the best place to always support me in particular is via my website, subartandmusic.com. That's my business, Substantial Art and Music. So I'm going to show you what's available. Just a quick reminder, whether you want to support on Bandcamp or support in the other location. And also remember that if you are a supporter, that means that you set up subscriptions on Bandcamp, or you are a supporter on Patreon. If you're at a certain level on Bandcamp, you get 20% off of everything. If you are over on Patreon, depending on the level of support, you get anywhere from 10% to 25% off. So that was a quick reminder for you all who are interested in supporting. Now let's go over to Bandcamp real quick. All right, that'll pop up, and we're gonna make that a bit larger so y'all can see what's available for those that don't know. I know some of y'all spend more time there than others, so this is just a refresher for some of you. As you can see, we got the album on vinyl still available. Autographed copies still are being shipped, as well as the CDs with the fold-out poster. The digital, the cassette USBs are also available, as well as the adultish hoodies and pattern shirts. We also have the white logo shirt and in the definition of adultish shirt, as well as the snapback. Shoes are available. So I finally decided what the cutoff date is going to be for the shoes. I've been back and forth about it. But December 1st will be the official, or I should say November 30th will be the official cutoff day for ordering the shoes. The reason for that is because they take a long time to be delivered. They take nearly 4 weeks from the time that I process the order to be delivered. And quite frankly, I don't want to be dealing with, managing those particular orders during the holiday, because typically during the holidays, I get a lot of emails asking where people's stuff is because it takes a little longer because of the amount of stuff being shipped that time of year. And the shoes ship from China. And so that's a whole headache in itself. And I've also dealt with at least 3 or 4 situations where the shoes were delivered to someone, and then because of some issue at the delivery point, the shoes ended up getting sent back to the manufacturer. And yeah, that's a lot. You know what I mean? So if you want to order the shoes, this is your last chance to get them after November 30th. That'll be that. So yeah, just letting you know now. So that if you're going to do that, do it sooner than later. But you got about 27 days. You know what I mean? So a little bit less than 4 weeks. Got the Nujabes collabs t-shirt. Think Different shirts. The Animal Arithmetic test presses are officially sold out, as well as the past is always present in the future. However, we do have it available on CD. We have Sacrifice available on CD as well. Plus, there's a little autographed double pack, stickers, and more. All right, so it's a lot more. I'm gonna stop there, but you get the point. So it's a lot of stuff available, but there are other things on my other site. And remember, while Bandcamp is dope, the best place to actually support me is directly from my e-commerce site. And not pressuring anyone to support. I'm just making sure that everyone is in the know. All right, so let's review this real quick. So taking you over here, and the reason why we're going to the site today is because there are things available on the site currently that are not available on Bandcamp. All right, so keep in mind, while Bandcamp is a great place to support because, the artists get the money right away, and typically Bandcamp takes less fees. They still take more fees currently than my website takes. So over here, you can get some of the same items, right? But you also can purchase, and if you notice, the price point on my website is a bit different. On Bandcamp, it's strictly autographed versions. If you want to purchase a version that's slightly cheaper, whether it's the CD or the vinyl, and doesn't have an autograph, you can do that on the website. So there's a feature that'll allow you to choose. Also, if you love the artwork that is on the vinyl, you can pick that up as a frame poster in different sizes. And because it's hoodie season and sweatshirt season, we also have the adultish sweatshirts, hoodies. All right, we have the glossy mug available now, and a lot more. All right, and the emoji stuff. Also, by next week, the Bob Alloy Winter Breaks hoodies and or shirts, sweatshirts, and also the all over print ugly sweater joints will be up soon too. So we're prepping for the holiday right now. So yada yada yada, so on and so forth. I know that was a lot of information. Just wanted to make sure I got that out the way early so everyone is in the know. All right, if you got questions, let me know. Let's go to the comments just to make sure. All right, appreciate y'all. So let's see what we got here. All right, get this back up here. Oh, hey, Hav, you and I are in the minority. Hav was saying the last rendition of Tron was so freaking cool. Fam, look, There's like little things in the story, like could have been a little bit better, sure. But I saw it in IMAX. The visuals, you know what I mean? Like I ain't going there expecting something super deep, fam. I just went in there, was like, dope effects. I mean, it's IP connected to a video game. I'm not expecting, this to win any Oscars or like, I'm just expecting it to be solid. And then I'm a huge Daft Punk fan. So I was really just there to see the see the special effects and hear the soundtrack. Everything else was just a bonus, you know what I mean? But I liked it. I saw it in New York years ago, man. It was fire. But I know it's not the best movie for a lot of folks, but I'm definitely not a hater. I have to check out the last Tron. I only remember the 80s Tron with the light cycles. Yeah, the light cycles and everything within the context of that game looks crazy now. And it's wild because I watched it not a few months ago, and the effects still hold up with a lot of what's currently happening too. So yeah. Great question. So what website can I get this stuff from? The one that had the white background, that's subartandmusic.com. If you go into the description of this video, you can go ahead and click that link. And if you want to go ahead and bookmark it now or open it up in a separate tab, feel free. We'll be here. But yeah, subartandmusic.com/store. That'll give you everything you need, or you can go to Bandcamp. All right. Speaking of merch, got the official first piece of merch coming. The Think Different shirt about to be my new fit to get together for a get together tomorrow night. Thanks, Sub. It's dope. Yo, thank you. I appreciate you for supporting, fam. All right. Tetsu Wolf says, see it now. Dope, dope, dope. All right. Really, people didn't like it? Well, yo, fam, a lot of people didn't. It was mixed reviews, you know what I mean? So like it was a little divisive. Like some people liked it, some people didn't. But it was cool. I thought it was fine. I like I said, I saw it in IMAX and I ain't regret spending my money. But I was also not in a packed theater. And yeah, when we walked out, me and my man seemed excited about it. Everybody else was just like, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like the best movie I've ever seen, but it was what I expected and I thought it was solid. Tron Legacy was amazing and gets watched regularly in my house. See, Joshua, you understand, son. We on the same page. You, me, and Hav. You know what I'm saying? You, me, and Hav. All right. And let's see. Hold up. I want to hit the Tron roller coaster. I didn't even know that was a thing. I got to go make that happen. You know what I mean? I didn't know there was a Tron roller coaster. They are making a third Tron, I believe. They should. They should. I mean, listen, I'm happy. You know what I mean? The fighting scenes with the disc were dope. 100%. They definitely were. All right. Let's keep it pushing. So, other updates. Let's get into it before we get into Anatomy of a Verse. So just a friendly reminder. Got lots of shows coming up. Let's switch that screen. Go Gadget. Boom. So, first and foremost, November 11th is right around the corner. Any of my people that are in and around the DMV, or some of you who are a little bit further away and want to make a quick little, trip out of town to see a dope show. Maybe you're in Delaware, maybe you're in Philly, maybe you're in Southern Pennsylvania, or maybe you're in maybe you're in Southern VA. Wherever you are in the vicinity, you don't want to miss this show. We are performing at Crescendo Studios on November 11th. And when I say we, it's me and the homie A1, DJ RBI will be there. We also got special guests dropping through, like Stephanie Gale's coming through to do what she does. It's going to be super dope. So come through, have a great time with us. Tickets are available right now. Be sure to pick those up. For any of you who don't want to rush into the description of the video to grab your tickets, no worries. I'll hit you with a link. I ain't going to judge you for being lazy. I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? Easy peasy, baby. That's what we're here for. All right. So, boom, boom, boom. Tickets here. Got you, son. Shazam. You know what I'm saying? That's my little Shazam, my little Chappelle reference. I feel like me and Hav do that at least once or twice we hook up. Hey, Quintus. Hey, everybody say peace to Quintus. Thank you for submitting remixes. By the way, shout out to any of you who submitted remixes. Yo, man, all of you did an amazing job. It was so dope how different the remixes were. We'll talk about it a bit more later. Maybe next week we'll have a conversation. But what I'm thinking about doing, I think I'm pretty sure I know which ones I want to use for the album, like the ones that sound the most cohesive together. But I still want to do a live at some point in time where I play all of the adultish remixes that everyone sent. Whether I loved it, liked it, or just thought it was okay. I think all of them are worthy of sharing, man. I think all of you did a really, really great job. Shout out to Early Bird, who remixed almost the whole project. Kokai as well. Shout out to John Lane, who sent some dope remixes. John Lane is a part of Good Company with Odyssey. And shout out to Malcolm Jackson. I still got to reply to some of you who sent joints. I've been crazy lately. But yeah, man, shout out to the remixes I've been getting. Really, really dope job by everybody. All right, let's get back to these comments and keep it pushing. Me staying high, Last Dragons, everybody glow. Hey, homeboy Sandman. I see that reference. Yeah. My birthday, November 15th. Everybody clap it up in advance for Tetsuo. Yeah, man. Early happy birthday wishes to you, fam. Thanks for being a supporter. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got Warpath in the building. Clap it up for him as well. Oh, and that's right. Early Bird's corrected me. He told me to let y'all know that his remix version is called Birdaltish. That is hard to say. Birdaltish. There we go. But thank you, man. All right. Good luck with your meeting, Warpath. All right. So let's keep it pushing, y'all. All right. So next event, we are heading down to North Carolina. I'm saying we like I'm going through with a whole bunch of people, but it's just a little old me. I will be in North Carolina on the 14th of November. I will be doing a speaking engagement, which is free to the public. However, it does require that you register. Let me get y'all a link for that as well. But yeah, man, it should be super dope. It's not a performance. It's actually just a speaking engagement. But if you're a fan who's interested in seeing me live, whether it's speaking or performing, want to bring through some merch, get some stuff signed, take some pictures, all of that good stuff, come hang out. If you know some artists who could use some great information to help them further their careers, that's really what the event is about. So definitely come through. Should be really, really dope. I'm trying to get this link real quick. There we go. Got it. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this event. Shout out to the school for having me as well, man. Should be a good time. But here's the link for that event right now. Shazam! Wow. I need to get all of these effects and load them all in. All right, let's keep it pushing. Because you were talking to Josh and you said me, you, and yeah, I see what you did there. Quintus says, as I wait for it to load, dope. I had fun remixing them tracks. Would have loved to make more if I had the time, but and then it says, can't wait to hear everybody's work. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I really, really like the remix that you did for Salt and Pepper in particular. That was probably my favorite of the two. But yeah, man, great work. Thank you so much for sharing it. All right. I'll keep everyone posted once I make decisions. And like I said, I'm going to likely do a live thing where I play all of the tracks for everyone and see what the people like. The people. All right. Next event. Let's keep it pushing. Bong. So the next event you can catch me at in New York City. Me and Katie Fox will be at Anime NYC that entire weekend. We will be there from November 17th through November 19th. I will have a booth set up, and I have that information somewhere. Yeah, it's in my email, but I will be sure to share that with y'all soon. But yes, I'll have a booth that entire weekend. We'll have merchandise available at the table. A lot of this merch is available online as well. But yeah, come through the booth, hang out. Maybe if you got friends in the area who haven't met me, who haven't, cop merch, who, want to come through our Sketchpads event that's happening that Saturday at the convention, definitely swing through. It's going to be a good time. Conventions are always a lot of fun. So if you haven't been to one, I suggest you come through. All right, next event. Me, Hav, Stephanie Gale, LR Blitzkrieg, GMS, and more will be in Queens, New York, back at Bar Frida. Should be a dope event. Come through that as well. Tickets for that are somewhere around here. Shazam, I got it. All right. Drop that for you. But that is happening on November 18th. Tommy says, thanking God. Hold on. Thanking God none of y'all can see me. I'm skipping work. Just broke a feet. Oh, my God. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, fam. Hope you feel better, bro. All right. Yeah, November is super busy. And part of the reason why I'm doing all of this stuff in November is because literally once December hits, I'm taking a break. So I'll still be doing the lives and stuff like that, but no shows in December as of yet. I am thinking about I mentioned that there's going to be there's going to be a live event online. And so, yeah, I'll keep y'all posted on that. I don't want to announce that too soon because it might affect one of the other events. But yes, there will be an online event, which is going to happen December 1st. All right. And I'm going to do it instead of doing it through YouTube, because I know a lot of people have been wanting me to tour and come through their city. And currently I have a meeting next week to discuss the tour for the new year. After the new year. And it's probably going to be closer to spring. But I have a meeting next week to discuss the possibility of working with this particular booker. And yeah, man, and I had a great conversation with the homie J Live. So there's a chance, keep your fingers crossed, that me and J Live will be hitting the road together. So we'll see how the meeting pans out. I'll keep everyone posted. But yeah, man, just keeping you in the loop. Quick comment. Katie Fox is a certain kind of genius. Would love to make that in NYC. Yeah, man. Nah, she's super dope. Super dope. All right. Let's see. Warpath says, not sure if you talked about it already, Stan, but sorry about the car, about your car. Man, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, I'll address it real quick. So for those who don't know, over the weekend, matter of fact, the night after we did I didn't do these every Friday. So I basically I drop off. Me and Javier Starks and my family, we're all hanging out. Everything's cool. I drop him off. I come home, park my car. Same area I always park my car in. And yeah, man, go to bed. Everything's everything. At one point in time, I heard like a few car alarms go off late at night. But I don't think to look out the window, because that's common. When you live in a complex where there's a lot of homes and stuff, or a lot of apartments there, that's not uncommon. You know what I mean? So a lot of times it's triggered by people going out to their car or someone getting too close to someone who has a hypersensitive alarm. It could have been anything. So I didn't think much of it. I wake up the next morning, we wake up the next morning. My wife is taking my daughter to ballet. My youngest daughter does ballet, jazz, and tap. So she's getting ready to take her to class. She's putting her in her car seat, and after putting her in her car seat, she notices that she sees like this like greenish blue bits all over the stuff, and it didn't click automatically that it was broken glass. And and then that's when she realized that someone had broke into our car. So they smashed out the window on the left side of the car on the driver's seat, the driver's side window, and and they didn't take anything except our airbag, right? They took our airbag out of the steering wheel. And so that was crazy, right? Because most people, you know what I mean? Like, I've had my car broken into before when I lived in New York, and they rummaged through all my stuff. They took my, this is back when CDs was the thing. They took all I had in there of value was a book of CDs. But that particular booklet didn't just have other people's albums. They had like unreleased material and stuff. It had a ton of stuff like in there from like my crew, other artists that I was friends with, Q&5, like some unreleased stuff from them, unreleased stuff that I did with New Japan, like a ton of stuff. And so, but that was probably my only experience like that. But this was crazy because I had never seen someone actually take an airbag. And yeah, man, and looking at how clean it was, like they clearly do this a lot. And I had found out through a couple homies that like the street value of airbags is like for my particular car is like $300 to $700 a pop. So one of the things that was interesting though was seeing like the different responses to it. A lot of people was like, yo, how's this even a thing? And blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and I get all of that and I appreciate the concern. But I just was saying to my wife, and I said it to one of the homies too, like, nah, I get it completely. Like, I'm not saying I'm not upset that it happened because it was a huge inconvenience to my wife and I. We've lost a lot of time where we were supposed to be working on certain things. It's just another reason why I'm behind on editing these episodes of Anatomy of a Verse. That and this big project I've been designing. But yeah, it's a huge inconvenience. All the stuff like we're getting a rental car, dealing with our insurance, dropping it off to the place where they have to repair it, paying for those, paying the deductible. Yeah, it's a huge headache. But I also recognize that we live in a world where, like, yo, it's really challenging. It's challenging for people right now, but you know, no matter what point of time you go to, it's always harder for some people. And you know, and I think a lot of times we say things like, yo, just get a job, just do this, blah, blah, blah. And like, it'll be all right. But a lot of us work jobs. Some of us work jobs that pay really, really well. But between bills, other responsibilities, even with you having a solid job, you still struggle to get by. Now imagine someone growing up or living in a community that they don't have a lot of resources, right? And then I remember what it was like when I was a teenager trying to get a job, because that was the other thing. When we spoke to the officer, he was telling us it was more than likely like young dudes, right? Like at the oldest, early 20s to like to teens. And let me tell you something, fam. I don't have a criminal record, but when I was out here trying to get a job when I was a teenager, one, I've been the same size since I was 14, 15 years old, all right? Like, bruh, it was hard. A lot of places would lie, say they didn't have applications, you know, and then there were times where I would get the job, but then the job paid next to nothing back then. So it's probably more the same, like, because, you know, at that point in time, you don't have experience, so it's hard for you to get certain joints. And then if your moms ain't got money like that, you ain't got your pops ain't got money, your family can't help you, folks they're gonna find a way to get the money they need to get to take care of whatever they want to take care of. And some people just get the money to blow it on stupid stuff. But at the end of the day, if you ain't got it, most people, they're going to find a way to get it, no matter who they got to hurt in the process or inconvenience in the process. So, you know, again, it sucked. I ain't enjoying it, but I'm not surprised. I'm not like, yo, this world, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it is what it is, and there's far worse things happening in the world. You know, the war that everybody knows about, and then obviously a whole lot of other stuff. I just saw something come up on the Weather Channel, talking about extreme weather affecting different communities in other parts of the world. It's always something happening. So in the grand scheme of things, fam, I'm safe, my family's safe. You know, it is what it is. It's unfortunate that we live in a world where these type of things happen. But I mean, yo, listen, you know, I got my health. Literally, the neighborhood I live in isn't the worst neighborhood. It's not a bad neighborhood per se. It's just like there's times where it's not great. But I feel like if you live in the city or you're near a city, that's just kind of, it just comes with the territory. And but you know, when I first moved to this neighborhood, even though this neighborhood isn't known for like crazy crime or anything like that, there was like some some wild situation that just happened. There was a night where someone was trying to do something to people's cars, or steal a car or break into a car. A guy confronted them in the parking lot, and he got killed. You know what I mean? And so that happened when early when I first moved here. Now, granted, that's not the norm here, but it made me very aware of the fact that, like, yo, in the grand scheme of things, we are lucky. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So that's all I'll say on that. I appreciate y'all for even checking in, man. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Thank goodness nobody was hurt. You know what I mean? That's real. Not to make light of it, but that thief in NY went home, played those CDs, and was like, damn, this shit fine. Hey, you know, one could hope. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I heard any of my bars pop up in certain places, I'd be like, well, I see those CDs served you well, sir. Imagine if he became a fan of yours and you didn't know it. Stranger things have happened, I guess, you know. There was a story about MOP getting robbed, and somebody asked them how they felt about it, and they said, that's who we make our music for. Oof. Yikes. That's hard. That's crazy. Yeah. Man. God bless him. Y'all, let me tell you something. There's a reason why I don't play MOP all the time, because if I did, I probably punch random people in the face just frequently. You know what I'm saying? Like, them dudes, hey, man. For those who don't know, because I think a lot of people think because I make socially conscious hip hop that I don't listen to my share of rah-rah, right? Like real hype stuff. But that is when I got long drives and stuff and I'm dolo, or like, you know, or I'm getting sleepy behind the what, like that's my go-to. And so like it's usually like Busta Rhymes, but some MOP will slide its way up in there, like some just brolic, son, fight music. But MOP, if you don't listen to MOP or not, you're unaware of how dope MOP is, I highly recommend checking them out. If you love boom bap beats and you like dudes who can really spit over boom bap beats, definitely check out some MOP. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of a Lil Fame verse, his verse from off Pharoah Monch's first solo album, where he was like, Lil Fame, bring it live, yo. That's what I strive for. I'ma settle this before you get the call 5-0. You wanna see me 4-5 blow? Nigga, put the phone down before I dump 2 times 4. What you gonna cry for? You know that my hammer is heavy and it got kicked like Taekwondo. Now you gonna die slow. And I'ma show you how to stretch a motherfucker if you wanna watch Taebo. Dog, like, hey, bruh. Hey, bruh, those dudes, man. MOP, son. MOP. Anyway, mashed out posse, dope, son. Let's keep it pushing. All right, we're gonna get into these last few announcements, and then we're gonna jump into anatomy of a verse. All right, and shout out to everyone for tuning in. Boom, boom, boom. Got it. All right. So another announcement outside of the normal shows that I'm doing. For those who don't know, I'm also an educator. And outside of working for organizations like Words, Beats, and Life, I also work with Omega Studios. And now we currently call Crescendo Studios home. We have an office there. When I say we, I'm talking about Substantial Art and Music. That's me and my business partner / wife, Rochelle Etienne Robinson. And now we have officially started the Substantial Art and Music Academy. Last night we had an interest meeting where we talked to folks about what we'll be teaching there over the next year. So some of the courses we're going to be offering on and offline. I say that again, on and offline. Some of the classes we'll be offering are music marketing. We'll be talking about digital distribution, also music industry writing. And so that's how to write, how to create your EPK, how to write a bio, how to write a press release, et cetera, et cetera. How to write pitches. So how to pitch the editorial, things like that. We'll also be offering classes on how to fund your career. So we'll be talking about how to do a Kickstarter campaign, how to apply for grants, and more. So definitely, man, if that's something you're interested in, you can head over to Crescendo's website, and I'll be sure to drop a link to where you can get those details. Because again, as I mentioned, those classes will be available on and offline. All right. So you can either come in person or you can purchase those classes online to view the videos. All right. So here is more information on that and where you can register. All right. For the SAM Academy. So yeah, man, really excited about that. These are classes that I've been teaching roughly for 8 years with Omega Studios School of the Recording Arts and Sciences. I've been teaching with them for 8 years, teaching these types of business classes. And so I'm happy that it's opening up to more of the public. And I've also been teaching similar things at Words, Beats, and Life. So yeah, man, excited for that. All right, let's keep it pushing. Another reminder that I'm collab with Least of All to do a new vinyl release. I'm going to do an official post about it soon. But for those of you who didn't know about this, this is where I'll be doing a live performance session. Hold up. And we're going to be recording these tracks to vinyl. So you can decide what song you want, or if you want to get multiple 7-inch vinyls of the performance and stuff in the different songs, that is an option that's available as well. So I will provide you a link for that in a moment. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Hold up. It was just here. It's trying to get away from me. Man, I just had it, son. I'm sorry. 1 second, y'all. Let's put that. Search. All right. It's trying to make me look bad in front of company, and I don't appreciate it. Hold on. Give me one more chance. Give me one more chance. Give me one more chance. Let's see if that worked. Boom, 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 boom. Nah, couldn't find the link. It was definitely up here before. All right, so anyway, I'll give y'all more details. I'll give you more details in a bit. I had the link last week. I know I posted it in last week's video, but don't stress it. I'll keep y'all posted. We'll do an official announcement soon, okay? All right, on that note, let's keep it pushing. It is that time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get ready. Oh, Warpath, have an amazing weekend, fam. Thank you so much for tuning in per usual. Appreciate you, brother. But for everybody else, stick around. It is the moment some of you have been waiting for. And that's for us to talk about the song Reed Richards. So I'm going to get ready to start again, as I do whenever we do the Anatomy of a Verse joint during the lives. And we're going to break it down. While watching the video, we're going to break down the lyrics bar by bar, both verses and the hook. And I'm going to give you some gems about the song that maybe you didn't know. So hold on for a second as we get ready to set that up. And you can prepare your questions. Remember that I will answer your questions after I finish the breakdown. Also, before I start, just a quick heads up. That ticker at the bottom just shows you how you can support. Again, support here via Kickstarter, via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or Super Chat is always appreciated, but never mandatory. So if you can support, I greatly appreciate the support. If you can't at this time, that is fine. I just appreciate you being here with me, enjoying our time together. You know what I'm saying? So thank you in advance. But on that note, let me set things up in the background as we get ready to go into it. All right, so hold tight. Boom, 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 boom. All right, got that set up. Boom. All right, here we go. Oh, let me get to that video. There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for another episode of
Anatomy of a Verse.
All right. Peace, world. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Anatomy of a Verse. Anatomy of a Verse is a series where I break down the lyrics of my songs past and present. And this week, man, I'm excited to jump into a song which is one of my newer tracks. The track is called Reed Richards. Reed Richards is from my album Adultish, which dropped earlier this year. And yeah, man, it was a track that was a lot of fun to make. So without further ado, we're going to get ready to get into it and break it down by bar. But first and foremost, if you haven't done it already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. And man, if you enjoyed the video or enjoy any of these videos, be sure to leave a comment as well and let me know what's a track that you would love to hear me break down. All right. But yeah, man, let's get ready to get into it. Hey, and real quick, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to everyone who supports the channel and keeps things keeps the lights on around here. I greatly appreciate you. All right. So let's get ready to get into it. Let's make sure everything is in place. Oh yeah, we're gonna drop boom. Cool. Let's get this ready.
Jadakiss is a scientist, Buckshot, they're scientists, man. And they're craftsmen, substantial, they're scientists, man.
Clap for me. They say, Mr. Fantastic, can you rap for me? DJ, bring it back for me. Let me stretch and get loose for a black on it.
Okay. So out the gate, let's break it down. So when you hear the song start out, it starts out with half of the hook. And so the hook goes, it says, clap for me. They say, Mr. Fantastic, would you rap for me? DJ, bring it back for me. Let me stretch it, get loose for a black on it. Turn me up some. So basically, the reason why the chorus in general, just that whole clap for me, the significance of me starting with that, Tone Deaf at one of our meetings that we had behind the scenes once said to me that, basically all artists a lot of times are just trying to make the same album over and over again and ultimately try to perfect it. And this particular instance is no different. This song, Reed Richards, is basically a variant of a song that I have literally been making over and over again since, I want to say, like 97, 98. So on an old demo that me and my crew UV did back in the day, there was a song I used to do. There was a song that I did for that demo that I produced myself called Let Your Hands Clap, right? And it started, let your hands clap. They say, blah, 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 can you pass that? Blah, 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 whatever. And so that was the first time I made an attempt at taking that particular hook, using it as a basis for a solo song that I was doing. Fast forward about 2 years later, I ended up getting a record deal with Hideout Productions and Nujabes, God bless the dead. And when we were working on my debut album, a lot of the songs that was on that particular album were songs I wrote when I was in high school. Like half of the album was written when I was in high school. The other half was written while I was in Japan. Well, there's a bunch of songs that people had never heard that were cut from the album. And one of the songs that was cut from the album, one of my unreleased Nujabes tracks, is a song called Let Your Hands Clap. And that's like the second rendition of me trying to, do that particular song. So fast forward again, here we are now, 2023. So like a long time after the first time I made that song. And when I made this particular beat for Reed Richards, because I produced this particular track, when I made the breakdown of the hook, because the hook idea, how the beat moves during that, was inspired by a song that Joe D did. Shout out to my brother Joe D, really dope artist. For anybody that's looking for, hip hop for my grown ups with more growing to do, right? Like you want bars with substance, definitely check out my man Joe D. But I was listening to one of his beats and I really loved how the beat was moving during certain parts. And I was like, man, I'm a flip a similar idea when I'm working on this particular track. So part of the reason why that clap breakdown happens during the chorus and different parts of the song was inspired by Joe D. And when I'm listening to the clap, the first lyric came to me, clap for me. They say, Mr. Fantastic, couldn't you rap for me? And I was just like, yo, I'm doing the same. It's like I've been doing this song for 20 plus years, going on almost 30 years trying to figure out this song. And yeah, it's crazy. Here we are, me revisiting it. So that's just a little background on it. Mr. Fantastic, for those who don't know, in the comic books, he's a part of the Fantastic Four, and his real name is Reed Richards, hence the title. All right, let's get into these bars.
Triple R to y'all rap read, stretch money instead of truth, bro. I mean business.
Out the gate. When I say triple R for y'all, rap Reed Richards. So the obvious, rap Reed Richards, triple R. And then the next bar after that says stretch money instead of truth, bro. I mean business. So if you know who Mr. Fantastic is, if you know who Reed Richards is, he has the ability to stretch, right? Like any part of his body, as long as he needs to do whatever he wants, whether it's wrapping people up, reaching something that's across the room, whatever. And so hence the bar, rap Reed Richards, stretch money instead of truth, bruh, I mean business. So I've always, I've been a dude, I've been a hustler since I was little, man. Like just finding ways to grind and get to the bag, keep bills paid, to be able to do the things I want to do, take care of the people I want to take care of. But I've also over the years learned to be like more frugal in certain situations, right? Even with how I manage my career. A lot of times musicians, there's a saying amongst musicians, in the music industry where they say, how do you make an album make $1 million? You spend $3 million, right? This music biz a lot of times expects you to spend a lot of money without always seeing a big return. And so what I've done over the years, and part of the reason why I'm able to make a living doing this full time, is because I found ways to not spend as much money as a lot of the folks around me spend, and still be able to keep myself out there, make music that doesn't sound like I'm, cutting corners per se, and all of that. So that's what that bar is. All right, let's keep it going.
Enough flow to fill a ravine, you should bring pictures. When the beat got that swing, you gon' need pictures. On the mound, throwing it down, stand delivers. All pro, I ain't a goddamn beginner. Yeah,
man. So with that, it's a lot of baseball references, right? On the mound, throwing it down, stand delivers. And it's like enough flow to fill a ravine, y'all should bring pictures. So I skipped the joint. So it's enough flow to fill a ravine, you should bring pictures. When the beat got that swing, you gonna need pictures, right? Bring pictures as in bringing a container, right? Because I got so much flow, thinking of water, I got so much flow, you gonna need pictures, right? But then it's like, but when I say, flow to fill a ravine, you should bring beat. But when the beat got that swing, certain hip hop beats, certain beats in general, certain music in general has a certain swing to it. So I always joke with certain people. I was like, you got beats that give you you got the head nod, right? And then you got other beats, it's like a body nod. You're like, oh my God. The beat moves a certain way. Like it doesn't feel like it's moving the typical way, right? You got some beats where it's just, and it's a little more stiff. And this particular a beat has a certain swing to it. And I've had conversations with certain producers where they're like, I'm a different type of MC when beats have a certain swing. I detect that pocket almost instantly, and then I just find a way to lay in it and just really meld with that. So if you listen to how this beat moves on certain parts, you'll notice that the rhyme, the way it hits it or whatever, like, right? And so then it's like, so when you hear that, like, the rap, you should bring, with a beat, got the swing, you're gonna need. See what I'm saying? Like, so just these different ways I find to lock in with the groove, using my voice and, my voice and how I move to the beat, just acting more as an instrument instead of just forcing forcing the words over it any old way. So, you know, it's levels to this. So then like I mentioned the whole on the mound throwing it down, y'all should bring pitches, right? Oh, pardon me. We got the swing, you're gonna need pitches, right? And then the pitches, right? Beat got that swing, baseball reference. On the mound throwing it down, stand delivers. Still another baseball reference. All pro, I ain't a goddamn beginner. Fam, I got my first deal in 99. My ASCAP card literally, my ASCAP card is from the 90s. I've been at it a long time. You know, enough said. Next bars.
Picks after the show, then let a man eat dinner. Too focused on A to see what plan B get.
Yo, so that joint right there, picks after the show, let a man eat dinner. Hey, man, you know, underground artists don't always have the problem of being recognized in public and stuff. But I've been at it a long time, so it happens here and there. It doesn't happen all the time. But every now and then it'll happen while I'm at dinner. And so, you know, there's been times where I was like mid and a person say something, you know, and people are always super apologetic. So I try to accommodate when I can, but definitely letting people know, like, picks after the show, let a man eat dinner. You know what I mean? But a lot of people's favorite bar from this particular song, which I don't feel is the most complicated bar, but so many people have come to me and said something about this particular line where it was like, too focused on A to see what plan B get us, right? For me, it's a playful bar with deeper meaning, but like for what I like to do, it's not necessarily the most complicated bar, but you know, the letter references, you know, too focused on A to C, what plan B get us, you know what I mean? So flipping the letters around a certain way or whatever in a clever way to still make a statement, you know, where like I've talked about it before, where plan A has always been the music for me, you know, since high school. And a lot of times people try to encourage me to go into other things or whatever, more full-time or whatever. And I always come back to the music because a good amount of those opportunities that people offer me or recommend to me, and it's not that I don't explore them, but the thing I always remember is a lot of those opportunities came because of the music, right? Even the opportunities I got in education. Oftentimes, at a performance, someone would see me doing my thing, and then they would invite me to their school to speak to students. And then when I go there, I would lock in and engage with the students so well, that turned into job opportunities. And that turned into, you know, this long career I have in education. But that was never a plan B for me. It was just a byproduct of me being a rapper, right? So me not losing sight of what it is that's getting me a lot of these opportunities. It's got me jobs that people who don't have a degree typically don't get. Right? The whole cultural diplomacy thing now is a byproduct of me being a rapper. So again, too focused on A to see what plan B get us. Or you could refer to the line from Spilled Milk where it was like, F a plan B. It was like, fuck a plan B if plan A is win. Right? So plan A has gotten me all of these opportunities. It's the reason you're here right now, right? So let's keep it going.
Nappy fade with some gray on the sides. Omni man stand when that pen and paper collide.
Yeah. Hey. Listen. Nappy fade with some gray on the sides. Omni man stand. You know. I mean, if you know who Omni Man is, you know his whole look. You know what I mean? He got his black hair on the top. He got the gray on the sides. He's a savage. He's a straight beast, right? Like super villain. You know what I mean? Omni Man stand when that pen and paper collide. So I might be Reed Richards overall, but get that pen in hand, or I just get a device in hand, start writing them lyrics. It becomes a thing, son. It gets brutal real quick, you know. And so let's keep these bars going.
I said you was the truth, but now your status denied. This life forever die, waiting for the pain to subside. Ooh, classic over trendy, bro, I'm still here. Holla at me in a decade if they still care. When you fall and bounce back, if they still cheer, then you're worthy to wield the mic like it's Mill Nams.
Man, hey, So a lot of that section deals with the idea of, you know, a lot of times people want the spoils, they want the rewards, they want the accolades, they want the respect out the gate. Like, you know, you just started doing it. And yo, this is a conversation I have with a lot of students, then like people who've been in the game a minute, and then some peers too, like a wide variety of them. It's wild because I'm sure somebody's listening thinking I'm talking about just them. And it's really like, fam, I was about to say it in a way that sound real mean. It ain't just you. It's a lot of time. This is a lot of people. Even me at one point in time felt early in my career that I should be held in higher regard and blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And, but, you know, but I try to tell people, it's just like, man, you know, like you got to put in a certain amount of work. Like, and so we talk about, where it's just like, if you fall and bounce back, if they still cheer, then you're worthy to wield the mic like it's Milner. Milner, Thor's hammer, you know what I mean? Only those who are worthy can lift Thor's hammer. But and for me, Thor's hammer is the mic. But really what it's saying is just like, fam, like, you know, out the gate, you're not probably going to get the respect that you think. But when people see you stick with it, when people see you not give up, when people see you continue to progress over a certain period of time, where people not just see you progress in terms of the accolades you get and opportunities you get, but also the quality of music constantly improves, right? You're still growing. That's something that I don't even think is debatable, right? Like if you're a person who's really a fan of me, and you're actively listening to what I do and not just certain pockets of what I do, I think it's hard to debate that, like, you know, that my stuff has not progressed. And when I have conversations with people who actively listen to music, and MCs and all of these different aspects of it, of the culture, that's something I hear all the time. And every now and then you'll have you'll have some casuals kind of come through, some people who like maybe they only listen to the Nujabes stuff, they don't really listen to my music outside of him, or maybe they only listen to like the video game stuff or whatever. But it's usually the people who listen to the Nujabes stuff who every now and then, not all, definitely not even most, but every now and then you'll have someone say something to me about like me getting out of touch with who I really am and blah, blah, blah. And they're usually referring to like the first album. And I'm just like, most of that stuff was written when I was a teenager, fam. Or half that stuff was written when I was a teenager. The rest was written when I was 20 years old, 19 and 20 years old. So I'm 44. Like, I'm not going to be the exact same guy I was back then. And oftentimes, you know, I find that like people don't even listen to whole albums a lot too. They have like one or two songs from you that they really like. And when they hear your other stuff, if it deviates too much from that, then they choose not to rock with you. And so I've seen people kind of formulate opinions based off of like the two songs that they like, and they just assume that's who I am, period. Nobody is that simple, right? Where, you know, 2 to 3 verses, you know, like accurately sum up their entire life, your entire existence. And so I feel like the best way to get to know any artist is to dive into the catalog, or at least dive into a full album from them. But yeah, man, but again, you know, those bars are just really kind of talking about that journey and what's it like, your path to getting the respect that you desire, to growing as an artist, an individual, as a person, and all of that. Let's keep the bars going.
Still ahead, still prepared to take what I earn. Y'all some build the bears and built the better weight of the world.
Another favorite, another bar that gets quoted back to me all the time. When I wrote that bar, it was one of those moments I stood up out my chair, walked around. I walked the lap real quick in the room, like, hey, boy, bruh, hey, man, you pretty good. Hey, bro, you still, yeah. Y'all some Build-A-Bears ain't built to bear the weight of the world. I'd curtsy for you if you could see me. But yeah, man, you know, old guy, all right, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that boy Stan be rapping sometimes. Stan be rapping when he be rapping.
And the realest here, that's on my soulmate and my girls. Who you feel compared to me really ain't my concern. Is he dope? Ain't a debate, cause most will say he underrated. A couple takes the state that he a great or just the greatest. Some artists focus less on albums, just don't make a playlist. I choose the former, but I hope the latter choose my latest.
Yeah, man. So, yo, hey, shout out to the different people. I do not walk around here saying or claiming that I'm the greatest of all time. But it's off-putting when people refer to you as a GOAT or call you one of the GOATs. I don't think I have enough. I don't think I have enough accolades to make that a debatable thing, right? Like maybe in certain, you know, I could see that in the context of a particular lane. But even I would never say that about myself. But man, I don't take it lightly when people say you're great or call you one of the greats, things like that. That's a huge honor, man. And so I appreciate all of the folks who've ever said that to me. People who come up and say I'm in their top 5 or I'm their top artist or in their top 3, whatever. Like, that's a huge honor because I know it's some amazing artists out here, some of which I know y'all listen to. So to be held in such high regard, you know, I mean, hell, man, even with my oldest daughter, my daughter's like her 2 favorite rappers are Lupe Fiasco and me. Fam. Like, that's, yo, you know, I mean, I know she's biased, but still, for her other favorite rapper to be Lupe, you know what I mean? Hey, man, I'm in good company. I'm doing all right. But, yeah, man. So the last part of that section where it says some artists focus less on albums, just on making some artists focus less on albums, just on making playlists, right? Like nowadays, it's a single-driven market, and you can make an amazing album, but unfortunately, unless it gets picked up by editorial or gets covered by a notable publication or channel or tastemaker or a content creator, like if you don't land any of that stuff and you don't have the budget really to get your stuff out there, it falls, I don't say it falls on deaf ears. The people who know you are going to still check for it. But in terms of you being able to successfully grow your brand and get more exposure without those things, it's very hard. So that's why you have so many artists who got their blinders on. Like, man, the album going to be the album. But if I can land these playlists, though, right, it's going to make a huge difference in how much exposure they get and potentially how much money they make, too. So that's why I'm not even judging those folks. That's why the next bar says, after I say some artists focus less on albums, just on making playlists, I choose the former, but I hope the latter choose my latest, right? So while I'm still focused on making a great album top to bottom, and I believe that Adultish, without a doubt, is my best work to date. That's how I feel. Some people feel differently. That's cool. Good for them. But I'm very proud of this particular work, especially with me producing it top to bottom. And so some artists focus less on albums, just on making playlists. I choose the former, but I hope the latter choose my latest. I still hope, though, even though my focus is on making a great album, I'm still using certain marketing techniques and strategies, things like the waterfall technique. That's when you release a single, and then after you release the single, you release your second single, but you add the other single to the back of that next single. And it's because on sites like Spotify, what ends up happening is if I just release the one song, the moment that song is done, it goes to my radio. Now you go from hearing me, and maybe you wanted to hear just more of me, but now it's going to play maybe one of my songs now, and then 3 or 4 songs later, then you get another song from me. But now it's going to split me up with a bunch of people, which might be good for your vibe. But if you came there to only listen to me, it'd be nice to keep you there a while. So one of the easiest ways to kind of help your numbers overall is by every time you release a single, adding the singles to the back of that. So taking on a strategy that is building the project up top to bottom. That's why I released almost every song from the project as a single, because it got the album more plays overall. You know what I mean? That's why the album isn't a year old yet, and it already has half the plays of like, it already has like half the plays of an album like Home Is Where the Art Is, that literally came out 11 years ago. So my new album almost has just over half the plays that an album that came out 11 years ago have. And that's because of the release strategy. So even though I'm a dude that makes music a certain way and believes a particular thing, I still adopt new strategies. So that way, you know, I can make good business decisions without sacrificing the art. You feel what I'm saying? So, and that's what I try to teach the folk. That's a plug right there for the Substantial Art and Music Academy. Go ahead. That flyer gonna pop up on one of these sides. But yeah, you should register. Come learn something. Come get some of this wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Come get this wisdom. I got a lot. All right, let's keep it going. Back to the hook.
Clap for me. They say, Mr. Fantastic, can you rap for me? DJ, bring it back for me. Let me stretch and get loose for a black on it. For the poppers, lockers, God bodies, rockers, hip hoppers, not for the imposters, nah, bro. Recognize I spit up when you spot one. Learn from a showstopper. Mr. Fantastic, party of four, dope in audio form. What's a god to a gore? Bunch of beasts like Benny on the stage with the boys. You hope to have a good show, bro. I came to destroy the pit.
Man, the bars though, that boy be working. That boy be working. So look, Mr. Stantastic, that was something years ago I came up with where I had made a shirt design and everything. I just never dropped it. Where it says Stantastic. It was just something like I would say from time to time just to be corny and funny. And so because I referenced Mr. Fantastic, I was like, let me start off the second verse like that, but say Stantastic instead. So Mr. Stantastic, party of four. So party of four, you know, whenever you go to a restaurant, you tell them how many people in your party. Because I'm married and got 2 kids, like almost anytime I check into a restaurant, it's, you know, Stan party of 4, right? So Mr. Stantastic, party of 4, but Mr. Fantastic, Fantastic 4. You know what I mean? So Mr. Stantastic, party of 4, dope in audio form. Then right here, more comic book references. What's a god to a gore, right? So if you're a fan of the Thor and stuff, and then you know about Gore the God Butcher, right? So what's a god to a Gore? Gore the God Butcher, he butchers gods. You know what I'm saying? He kills us. So like, so I'm just talking about the lyrics again. Like, so, yo, it's like, yo, you think you're the god of this, that, and the third, but what's a god to a Gore, right? And then I say, butcher beats like Benny, right? You know, and then I'm saying it wrong. Hold on. Oh man, what's the joy? Hold on. I'm saying, butcher beats like I don't want to hang with something the boy. So the character I'm referencing, damn, I'm saying it wrong. Butcher beats like so Benny the Butcher, right? So there we go. All right, so Benny the Butcher, rapper from Griselda, right? So Butcher beats like Benny when I'm on with the boys. But then the character, Butcher from the TV show The Boys. So all these different like comic references and a /TV show or movie references. And then I say like, yo, you come to have a good show. I come to destroy up here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just trying to do a good job. I'm trying to leave a hell of an impression when I get off this stage. You know what I mean? I'm trying to destroy this tonight, you know? And yeah, man, let's keep it going.
Giving out work like I came to employ. George Surratt on the mic when I'm making a point.
Come on, son. So this particular joint where I say giving out work like I came to employ, pretty straightforward line, you know what I mean? Giving out work, came to employ, I'm hiring people, so on and so forth. But that next bar where I was like, George Surratt on the mic when I'm making a point. So if you don't know who George Surratt is, it's all good. Pay attention in your art history classes, you know. George Surratt is an artist most famously known for the style of pointillism. Hence why, you know, George Surratt on the mic when I'm making a point, right? And then, you know, we in the music video, we took that particular shot, right, that freeze frame, and then put an effect on it to make it look like pointillism. You know what I mean? Look like the style of art. One of my favorite moments at a show happened in August. I was performing at an anime convention called Kanjutsu. And while I was performing, this one woman, she sees the shirt I'm wearing at the time. It says property of the Xavier Institute. So it's a line, X-Men line. But so she's a comic head, but then when I said the George Surratt line, when I'm making a point, she's like the only person in the crowd like, yo, like she loved the bar. Cause again, it's not a bar that everybody gets. Like, you know, I went to art school, so you know what I mean? It's like I know about a lot of different periods in art, a lot of different styles in art, the different people who made these styles of things, so on and so forth. So it was just a great opportunity to flip a line that most people, you know, it's a deep cut. Most people aren't gonna, that ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? You know, so let's keep it going.
Sorcerer in the stew when I conjure up joints. Come and fetch this blessing that I came to anoint. From where we rock New Balance, but struggle with old vices and high blood pressure be coming with low prices.
Man, hey, we rock New Balance, but struggle with old vices. So a thing that a lot of rappers do, I'm not the only one who does it, like the making plays off of opposites. So, you know, I'm from the DMV. Nobody really said. I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland, originally. Currently reside in VA, in Northern Virginia. In the area that I live in, or more so in the area that I'm from, in like the DC area in general, New Balance are really, really popular in this region. And so that's why it says from where we rock New Balance, but struggle with old vices, right? For something to be your vice is oftentimes something that you're addicted to. Like sometimes you have a crippling addiction to this thing, you know, and when you handle situations with that thing, you're usually not very balanced, right? Like it's like you're all in with that thing. And so that's why it's like, you know, rock New Balance, but struggle with old vices. Next bar, like high blood pressure coming with low prices. So oftentimes the food that we eat in like poorer communities, right? We don't always have a lot of fresh food offered to us. We don't always have a lot of healthy food options or whatever. Some of us live in food deserts. So the food's high in sodium and high in a lot of these different things. So again, high blood pressure coming with low prices, right? Keep it going.
The virus we've been dealing with known crisis. Transform from old dog to Osiris. Now we can.
Come on, bro. Man, so, you know, I just be out here, you know what I'm saying, just trying to have fun. You know what I mean? Like maybe, you know, push boundaries a little bit. You know what I mean? Do something a little, you know. So, you know, it's that bar right there. I'm a big fan of the movie Menace to Society. I'm such a fan of the movie Menace to Society. I saw Menace to Society 6 times in movie theaters, right? 6 times. That's how much I love. Before that movie got out of movie theaters, I saw it that many times at the theater. All right. So if you're a fan of that movie, you know who Old Dog is. It's a movie from the 90s. I know I'm older than some of y'all, so you might not know. But if you've never seen that movie by the Hughes brothers, Menace to Society, highly recommend you check it out. But yeah, man. And so there was a character named Old Dog, played by Lorenz Tate. And yo, this dude, he was a young dude, like 16, but like he was this dude was a homicidal maniac. Like he was okay with killing folk, no problem. What you say about my mama? You feel sorry for who? Hey fam, like this dude's body count in that movie was crazy. And he's a kid. He's a kid. And so, you know, so when I make that reference, like transform for Old Dog to Osiris, right? Like transforming from a murderer, right? To a god, You know what I mean? So Osiris is a god. Ironically enough, tying into the line, he's the god of the deceased. So it's just like, yo, it's like that line works so many different ways. So it's like transforming from someone who you might view as the low of the low to the highest of the high, transforming from a man to a god, but then it's like transforming from this killer to a god of the deceased. Like, yo, it's like there's levels, son. So many. But again, it's one of those lines that when I came up with it, I was just like, yo, this is, yeah, you know what I mean? But anyway, I like writing, son. I like writing. I like having fun. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. Sidebar. So the art that you see behind me, like, you know, it looks like I took part of this video at a gallery in Romania. Believe it or not, this was my hotel. The hotel that we were in had beautiful art all around it. And, you know, I was thinking about Black Thought, something he said about like how his aim is to make people view rap as high art, right? Because oftentimes it goes underappreciated. And so he chooses to make it in a way that is viewed as high art. Now, not all of it attempts to do that and push boundaries that way, but that's how he chooses to do it. It's also how I choose to do it as well. And then you think back to the Picasso video for Jay-Z, where he was like, where he was rapping in a certain space, made like he was a work of art, and like the rhymes he was delivering were works of art. So that was part of what I was going for when we shot the video, me posting up in front of these works of art that create a nice texture, like, you know, a nice background for me, and centering me as a work of art in this work of art. You know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, man, let's keep it going.
Came to flame these joints like arthritis, while God guide us, peacemakers and born fighters. Got homies with more seeds than papayas, trying to find peace while writing them papayas.
Yeah, man. So, you know, just so many different things where it's like, got homies with more seeds than papayas, right? Y'all know who you are. I ain't gonna put you out there like that. But yeah, man, I got a couple homies. Got a lot of kids. And like part of, for those of them that actually make music, like this is something that gives them peace. You know what I mean? In this world being what it is, the wars going on, extreme weather we're seeing with climate change, all of these different things that's going on, all the stresses, and then the day and day of going in, working a job that maybe you don't love, like to provide for those you love most. You know what I mean? And still trying to find find time for yourself to create the thing that you love the most. And so trying to find peace while writing on papyrus, you know? And the simple line that it kind of started off that section with, where it was like, now we came to flame these joints like arthritis, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, I be rapping. You know what I mean? I'm sure some of y'all might get the reference. If you don't, look up what arthritis is and learn how it affects joints, and you'll appreciate that bar a little more. Let's keep it going.
Equal rights and living wages, and couldn't see the gods that we are to hitting stages.
Come on, bro. Denied of equal rights and living wages. So again, going back to what I was saying before about people who work jobs that they don't love to take care of the people that they love most, right? And then on top of that, working those jobs, you're underpaid, right? So denied of equal rights and living wages. So, and then, you know, a lot of us, even though, you know, it's supposed to be a brave new world and stuff, and we're all equal in the eyes of the law, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's still moments where we're treated less than, right? So it's like, so you're denied not denied self-respect, you're denied respect and opportunities from people who are supposed to treat you, quote unquote, the way they would treat anyone else. And so, and a lot of us cling to this music or cling to our art because, you know, you feel more empowered in these moments, sometimes doing this thing that you love. So that's why it says, couldn't see the gods that we are till hitting stages, right? Couldn't see the significance of what we were doing until you got on you got a platform that allowed you to share what you do, and you saw the impact of what you do, right? And so it gives you hope. It gives you hope. It makes you feel like you're here for a reason. You're not just existing, you're living,
Best kept secret like Bibles with hidden pages. Best source of raw hip hop and entertainment.
Yeah, man. Best kept secret like Bibles with hidden pages. So, I've talked to different types of people. I've worked with religious leaders in the past and stuff, and had different conversations. I remember talking to a priest over lunch one time because I was doing work at Union Theological Seminary. Believe it or not, at one point in time, I was hired to speak at Union Theological Seminary because they had a class that was based on the grassroots movement of hip hop and comedy in comparison to the parables of Jesus, right? So this idea of sharing like lines or a form of creative writing, these clever things or whatever that on the surface sound like one thing but have deeper meaning. And so we were talking about like how comedy does that, how like in rap music, that's also something that we see. And then how we see that in different writings that we find in the Bible, in particular with the parables. And so, it was a really, really interesting conversation. It was a really interesting class that I participated in as well. And it made me think about conversations I had with this particular priest. And he was talking about like his trip to the Vatican and getting access to certain types of writings and certain types of books that are kept in this particular vault, but this information isn't available to the public, right? So this idea that there are additional stories, additional writings, other different historical things that are very significant, but the public, as we know it, like the people do not have access to this information, right? And why is that? And so, yeah, man, it was just a really, really interesting conversation. And so that's what that bar is. It just sounds like, something's cool to say, but it actually, like, it pertains to a very specific conversation I had. All right, keep it going.
My life's a hip-hop quotable, they ain't published yet. Slept on by the masses till I left a few with rubbernecks. Took a swing at rapping, then I sent it to the upper deck. Only other language that I'm fluent in is cut the check.
So yeah, another baseball reference in there. Took a swing at rapping, and I sent it to the upper deck. And then, then you got other lines was like, my life's a hip-hop quotable, they ain't published yet. The hip-hop quotable in the source was like, it's the height of heights for a lot of lyricists, right? Back in the day, anybody who took themselves serious as a lyricist / rapper, that was something I think we all wanted to achieve. I used to keep hip hop quotables on my wall, you know what I mean? Like from like Lauryn Hill's verse, from How Many Mics, when that was a quotable, having that on my wall. From Method Man's verse on The What, off of Biggie's first album, and a long list of other joints, like from Redman and so many other people who got hip hop quotables. So, although that's something that obviously hasn't happened in my career, I mean, I've been in the Source magazine multiple times, but I never got hip hop quotable. And yeah, man, it's just like, it's still a thing for me, right? It's still like the height of heights or whatever for anybody like me who takes themselves serious as a lyricist. But that final bar where I say, only other language that I'm fluent in is cut the check. So it just sounds like some arrogant American thing to say, right? Because, we're a country where oftentimes most people don't speak more than one language. But in your travels, when you start to go other places, you're constantly meeting people who speak 2, 3, some cases 4 or 5 different languages, depending on where you go. And so it sounds like it's just like something, just like some quick, funny thing to say. But really what it's talking about financial literacy, right? So it was like, only other language that I'm fluent in is cut the check. And so cut the check is just like, it wouldn't sound as cool if I said only other language that I'm fluent in is financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's the cooler cooler rapper way to say it. I'm gonna say cut the check. But like, you know, understanding the importance of financial literacy, no matter what community you come from, is one of the best ways to lift yourself and others out of poverty, right? A lot of us, even with understanding how money works, still find ourselves at times living check to check. But you can find ways to lift yourself out of your situations and get to the goals and different opportunities you want by understanding how money works, understanding how to make more money, understanding how to keep money coming in, but also most importantly, how to use that money even when you're gone or not working or whatever, to keep it coming in a way that supports those you care about most. So that's what that bar, again, it's a kind of simple, funny way to say something that is speak on something that's very serious. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, but that's the breakdown. I'll let the video ride out while I go ahead and check out these comments real quick, man. But I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Let's let it ride.
They say, Mr. Fantastic, can you rap for me? DJ, bring it back for me. Let me stretch and get loose, so I'm black on it. For the poppers, lockers, God bodies, rosters, hip hoppers, not for the imposters, nah, bro. Recognize I spit up when you spot one. Learn from a showstopper.
We get into the science of the fact. And that's the beauty of it. And that the average person doesn't know that, and they treat it like pop music. Top 40, shaking to the lights, as I say. I don't think we could be in the same room talking about the same thing.
All right, man. Thank y'all so much for watching another episode of Anatomy of a Verse, and also for watching Substantial Weekly. If y'all got any questions, now's the time to send it in. I'll try to loop back, see if I missed, see if I missed any of your questions, and definitely get back to that and all that good stuff. All right, but thank y'all so much again for watching. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to close out, get to these questions. Just a quick reminder, again, if you want to support in any way, the super chat feature is on. Feel free to send that in. Obviously, if you want me to get to your question sooner than later, a great way to do that is through super chat because it highlights it. Again, never mandatory, always appreciated. Regardless, I'm gonna do my best to get to any questions I missed. Shout out to my man GMS in the building. All right, he is one of the many people performing with me in NYC in a few weeks. Definitely come through, check us out. So let's get to some of these comments that dropped. All right. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody that was tuning in during their lunch break as well. So it says, it's crazy to see the Genesis idea take the longer you work on it. Wow. I'm curious to hear Let Your Hands Clap now. Yo, I think I might put that on Patreon, the original version, because I still have the demo version that I did, and I have the Nujabes version too. So I think maybe at some point I'll add it to Patreon just to kind of see how we got to Reed Richards from the original Let Your Hands Clap songs. All right. Peace. What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in, Race Rife. All right. Here we go. Soul Tiger says, the bar with Thor's hammer to me reminded me of your classic If I Was Your Mic. Nice. Nice. Hey, man. Thanks, man. All right, this is awesome. I totally missed the Millionaire line. Back to bed, though. Hey, rest up, fam. Rest up, man. Hope you feel better soon. All right. How was your flow? So good and creative. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I try to be a student of this art. You know what I mean? But not just of rap in particular, student of music and how it works. So understanding that when I hear musical instruments played a particular way over other types of instrumentation, a lot of times over time I've learned to listen and single out like what each instrument is doing. I remember asking Tone Deaf a dope thing when I interviewed him, when me and my wife interviewed him for our podcast, Artistry. Great episode y'all should check out, by the way, if you've never checked out my podcast. We're on break right now, But my podcast Artistry, one of the episodes we interviewed Tone Deaf, and one of the things that I asked him, I was like, yo, like what inspired your flow in terms of what you are doing, like when you're delivering your rhymes, like what inspired that, what got you to the point that your flow became so intricate? And he basically views himself as like a jazz drummer, right? Like in terms of like locking in on the hi-hat in particular. And so oftentimes when you listen to Tone and how he's working, he's mimicking what the hi-hat's doing. That's why he's able to do these rapid fire flows. And he's not the first person to say something like that. Rakim is a artist that literally changed how people rap. And that's why he'll forever be in my top 5, because without him, you don't get to these more intricate artists. Like you don't have artists that are maybe doing things as interesting flow wise without Rakim. And so there's an interview that I did with Rakim as well. I interviewed Rakim years ago, and it's on YouTube. I'm gonna add it to this channel one of these days too, as a throwback. But in that particular video, he actually states that, because I asked him about his flow and how no one was flowing like him until he came along. And one of the things he said was, yo, I was trying to, I was listening to John Coltrane, because Rakim also played saxophone, and he was trying to imitate what Coltrane was doing with the sax. So he basically hears certain flows and stuff that he was doing in and out the music, weaving in and out of it. And he basically wanted to push his raps a bit further and start doing that at a time no one was doing that yet. So, yeah, man, shout out to the God Rakim. All right. Botan says, I used to not get the appeal of rap before hearing you and others on Nujabes tracks. Hey, man, I'm honored that we help you explore this genre further, man. Thank you. I don't take that lightly. Once again, shout out to my brother GMS from The Plague. All right, good to see you up in here. So GMS was asking, he said, did you talk about the fact that Bandcamp was just sold again and they fired all of their reviewers / writers? So no more writing up and featuring new artists who they like. Yo, yeah, that was, man, listen. Part of the reason why part of the reason why Adultish was so successful after it finally dropped was because of the write-up that I got and the features I got, new and notable, and all of that. So definitely, this is a significant loss with them firing. I believe they fired over 50% of their staff. Their staff was made up, and as a person of color too, I think 2% of their staff, I can't remember the exact number, but like 2% of their staff that was on before that were African American, but African Americans made up like 4% of the people fired. So like it like doubled in terms of percentage, in terms of like, groups represented there who lost their jobs. It's a whole lot of trouble and stuff happening over at Bandcamp right now. So again, even though today is Bandcamp Friday, and I appreciate the support, and I'm glad that they kept it on. Again, the best place to always support me is directly through my company website, subartmusic.com/store. The link is in the bio, but Bandcamp right now is still a better way to support artists outside of their own websites. And it's definitely better than what Spotify's doing, because while the situation with Bandcamp is still bad, like going into next year, Spotify is literally about to stop paying artists who don't get a certain amount of streams per month per song. So and so that's a real thing. Like I just saw the artist Curtis King, who has a really dope YouTube channel. Y'all should check out, by the way, if you're a person who cares about the business side of this game. He literally just decided to take his music off of all DSPs because of what's happening. So like you're only going to be able to get his music in certain places. I'm debating what I'm going to do next, but the reality of it, like all of these different platforms, anything that's somebody else's platform, you're pretty much, it's going to be good for a certain period of time, and maybe it's good for a long time, right? But oftentimes they make changes that are in best that that's in the best interest of the company, but not necessarily in the best interest of the artist, which of course makes sense from a business standpoint because it is a business. But that just means that artists need to think of themselves as a business and put themselves first, the way these businesses consistently put themselves first at the expense of the people who literally give them content to exist. Because without our content, they become irrelevant. And the fact of the matter is, the only real way most independent artists are not going to stop using these platforms, largely because this is platforms like Spotify is how most people consume their music. They literally have twice the user base of the number 2 streaming service. They have twice the streaming base of the number 2 service. That's how big they are, right? And with the other ones, it's not even close. And so that being said, most people, like if we tried to strike as musicians, most of us probably would not be on board with it. Largely because if you're a person who's making any money off of your music, you're doing better than like 90% of the folks who make music. And so, you know, and if you're a person who's doing it full time like me, like I'd survive, like if I pulled all my stuff off of like the streaming platforms and say only kept it on Bandcamp, only made it available through Patreon, my website and stuff like that. But there's a significant amount of money I'd lose a month. And obviously I need to figure out where that money is going to come from before I'd make that type of move. And then it would also make my music extremely hard to discover for a lot of people who are not active listeners. Most passive listeners, or like listeners who are kind of in the middle, they're on no streaming platforms. They're not on Bandcamp. They're not going to my website to listen to my music. You know what I mean? So it puts us in a weird predicament. And keep in mind, when we talk about DSPs, that also includes YouTube. So that means that my YouTube channel, if I decided to make the move that this brother's making, that also means that I'd be pulling my music from YouTube as well. And so I'm on the fence about like what's the best solution. Because, you know, anytime you can put your stuff where more people are to potentially listen to your music, it'd be different if people weren't listening to me on these platforms. But I mean, on some of these platforms, like on Spotify in particular, there's at least 1,000 or more people based on my numbers, I think last year or the year before, where I'm the main artist they listen to. And, you know, like I got numbers to verify that. So I know that I don't like what they're doing, but I'm trying to come up with a solution that's going to create the real impact that we need to be created to justify them making the changes they need to make. Because the real reason why they exist is because of mainstream artists. So if mainstream artists aren't going to make certain sacrifices to kind of put them in check, then we're not going to get the response that the desired response that folks want in terms of them respecting the joint. And the reason why, for those of you who don't know, Spotify is owned by the 3 major labels, right? And so here's the thing. Even if you listen only to me or only the GMS or only to Orion Song or any of the independent musicians who came on while we were on here, if you only listen to us, newsflash, you're still sending money to major labels if you're streaming on Spotify, because of the fact that, again, the way it works, the money doesn't even go directly to the people who you're streaming. It gets added to a pool of money. And that pool of money, a larger percentage goes to mainstream artists because the platform is owned by the 3 major labels. So most of that money goes to them, and then we get a smaller cut of it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's trash, fam. Like it's not a great look. It's a very weird position that we're in as artists, trying to figure out which direction to go. You know, so yeah, man, you know, I know there's more important things happening in the world, but I don't want to downplay the significance of all these changes because a good amount of people whose content and art and music that you love exist on these platforms, and these platforms are the main way a lot of people take care of the people they love most. And so this is very significant, whether the world thinks it's a real problem or not, you know. But anyway, G, thanks for bringing that up, fam. All right. I think I got all the other comments. Wish I was able to make it earlier, but glad I caught Anatomy of a Verse. Fam, it's all good, Soul Tiger. I appreciate you, man. You thought Reed Richards was my alter ego. I got a bunch of aliases that I play around with. I mean, if I had an alter ego, it probably wouldn't be the name of like a notable character. Like, I mean, it'd clearly be like a Doom ripoff and stuff. So I don't foresee myself kind of playing around with that name. I mean, I've played around. It's not the first time I've said Stantastic or whatever, or Mr. Stantastic on a track. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's not one of my more popular joints. But I first made that reference back in like 2007. This is just the first time I really kind of turned it into a song. But yeah, appreciate you. Let's see, another comment. Soul Tiger, have a great weekend, fam. You ever thought about compiling your lyrics into in a published book? I think I first thought about it when I saw Jay-Z appear on Bill Maher, and Bill Maher had printed out every lyric that Jay-Z had wrote up to that point to show him how thick of a book, and it looked like an old school Bible. It looked like an old school Bible that used to be on folks' tables or their big screen TV back in the day. You know, the TV that looked like furniture. If you're a certain age, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I thought about it back then. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Is that something y'all would be interested to see? Like if I took the time to kind of take take a bunch of my lyrics up to a certain point and then turn it into a book. Is that something y'all like to see? Let me know. But anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I gotta go. My youngest daughter's gonna be home soon. My oldest daughter already came through, heard her in the other room. But man, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Give yourselves a round of applause. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, do something nice for yourself. I'm trying my best to do the same. I got some more work to do. Got some more graphic design stuff to work on for some folks, and then get back to trying to finish editing the Waiting for the Clouds breakdown, and also finish editing. I got Waiting for the Clouds, Umoja, and now Reed Richards to edit. So definitely got a lot to do. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. Shut up, Joshua. Joshua's like, already? Yeah, son. We just did almost 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? You know, the lyric breakdowns definitely make it take a little bit longer, but it's a lot of fun, man. But I appreciate the questions. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me per usual. Y'all have an amazing weekend. Be safe, man. Stay out of trouble, all that good stuff. If you can, grab some merch. Support if you can. It's always appreciated. Never mandatory, but always appreciated. So, link real quick for y'all. Let me learn to spell, because that was about to be all bad. But a link to the best place to purchase some merch if you want to support, right here, man. But did it go through? Yep, there we go. But yeah, man, y'all have a great weekend. Take care. Be sure to grab some merch if you can. Y'all have a great Friday as well. Take care, everybody. Peace, Quintus. Peace to everyone in the chat, man. Y'all take care. All right.